You're watching the RebZone Sports Show on Fox 5.
Rain, waterfalls, and a few ducks.
Stay focused and in the pocket.
Straight ahead in the RebZone, we take a closer look at a game the Rebels fought to be in position to win, but couldn't get over the hump. Head coach Tony Sanchez is in studio to break it all down. Plus, we discuss the plan for the bye week. And we feature a UNLV assistant coach who has come back not only to his hometown, but the school where he played. We're dried out and ready to give you 30 minutes of Rebel football.
Let's go right now.
This is the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, presented by R.C. Willey. Your home, your way.
Good evening and welcome inside the RebZone. Kevin Bollinger alongside UNLV head football coach Tony Sanchez, just back from Jonesboro, Arkansas, and a game that was right there for the taking. But in terms of gauging where this program is, I think we're still seeing that progress moving forward.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, our guys played hard for 4 quarters. We were right there, had a chance to win that game. We felt like, there's some things we did that cost us the game, to be quite honest. They're a good team. They've been good for many, many years. They showed it. Hansen did a really good job of managing the game. But we had our fair share of mistakes that we feel like gave us really got in the way, impeding our ability to win that football game. So we're growing, we're getting better. We got to continue to do that, and there's some things I'm sure we'll talk about throughout the show. But those are the kind of games where the program changes. You got to go get them.
We'll talk about some of the issues throughout the next half hour, but we want to get right to the highlights, where it was a soggy night and it did have an impact on the game.
Fight for the name in the front of the jersey. Fight for the name on the back. The man on your right and the man on your left.
Here we go, on the hit. Hit it, nice job.
Stay focused and in the pocket.
A steady rainfall before, during, and after kickoff. Arkansas State won the toss and wanted the ball. Senior quarterback Justice Hansen led the Red Wolves down the field. The pass to Brandon Bowling for 26 yards to the 22. Then from the 16, Hansen to the front pylon, where Justin McInnes hauls it in for the score. The point after was no good, but it was still quickly 6-0. On UNLV's first possession, 3rd and 10, Armani Rogers runs right up the middle for 18 yards in the ASU territory. Then a quick slant to Mekhi Stevenson for 13 more. But on 3rd and 7 from the 33, Rogers overthrows Brandon Presley, and it's picked off by Jerry Jacobs to kill the drive. The Rebel defense clamped down. Gabe McCoy gets in quick for the sack. Then on 3rd down, Jericho Flowers makes a great tackle to force a punt. UNLV started at their own 24. Rogers runs it for 14 yards to get the drive going. On 3rd and 9, it's QB1 again, flushed out of the pocket, and he's going to have to hoof it for 16 more yards. 2 plays later, the pitch to Evan Owens. He breaks a tackle and breaks free. 41 yards, hugging the sideline for the touchdown, and the Rebels had the lead 7-6. The rain bothered both quarterbacks. Hansen lost his grip for a 7-yard loss as UNLV forced a 3-and-out. After the teams exchanged punts, UNLV started on their own 45. Lexington Thomas breaks free. He rolls down the left sideline 37 yards to the ASU 18. But Rogers badly underthrows a ball near the goal line, and it's intercepted by Jerry Jacobs again as the Rebels came away empty-handed. Arkansas State started at their own 8 and quickly worked down the field. The drive capped by Hansen over the middle to Jonathan Adams for the score. It was 13-7 Red Wolves. UNLV worked into ASU territory just before the half, but on a last chance Hail Mary before the gun, Rogers is sacked, and the Rebels went into the locker room down 6 at 13-7.
So twice in the first half, you're in position to score. Rogers throws interceptions, and you come away empty-handed. I mean, those are just killers.
It is. I mean, first of all, we start the game off sleepwalking on defense, and they just go right down the field and score on us. You can't come out like that, a little flat. Defense settled down and did a really good job for most of the second half. offensively, you know, we go down and we put ourselves in a situation. I believe we're on the 33, 1st and 10. You got to get some points out of that, you know, minimum field goal. And, you know, we throw a bad pick, and then we come back and drive the ball down again. We got 1st down and 10 on the 18-yard line. Again, those are points on the board, and you're not able to take advantage of that. We end up, you know, getting the 7 points with Evan Owens on the option play, and then we had a missed tackle on a 3rd and 8 that ended up resulting in another long drive for them. So the defense did really good. I mean, pretty stout, but we had, you know, 2 really long drives that we gave up. One after a missed tackle, kind of sleepwalking again, you know, that very first possession. But you can't turn the ball over. I mean, it's just absolute killers in the first half. So, again, tight ball game, 6-point game at the half. So, you know, there's nothing to panic over that. But, however, you have to take advantage in a big-time game like that of the opportunity to score.
You mentioned the defense, and they did have 2 long drives that really bookended the half, one on the first drive and one towards the very end. It was the first time you guys didn't have the ball to receive in a game this season. And it just seemed like maybe they got caught on their heels a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you know, they're a very confident team, and, you know, and I'm sure they kind of wanted to put us behind the 8 ball a little bit, and they were able to do that. And, you know, again, though, we were able to come back and take the lead 7-6. So by that time, you're both settled down. And I thought we were pretty even, Steve. And it was tough sledding running the ball. I mean, we got a bunch of yards by the end of the night, but they were pretty physical up front and gave us all we could handle. So kind of had to get to the perimeter, and we ended up scoring on that option play.
You guys do like to run the football, number 2 in the nation in running the football as of right now. And you were able to move the chains, even though you did have some tough going in the first half in terms of running the football. You were able to put a little bit together, though.
We were. I mean, we had to problem solve it a little bit. We had too many 3-and-outs. When you look at it by the end of the night, I think we had 5 3-and-outs. That's too many. They had 5 3-and-outs too, so defense kind of counteracted that. But you know, we needed. You got to throw the ball a little bit better. I mean, a lot better, to be honest with you. And I know the rain impacted it. You can see it on film, sitting in the office watching, you know, the game film from the sideline, and then behind you, you see the ball kind of flying out a little bit here and there. But we have to do a better job of, you know, attempting more quick game stuff, short passes. You know, get them a little bit more in a rhythm, and, you know, and when we have open middle field, we have to take advantage of them. They did, and we didn't.
Let's go to the second half now, where it was a wild seesaw affair that came down to the very end.
UNLV had the ball to start the second half, but quickly went 3-and-out. ASU worked out of a hole as Hansen has all kinds of room, and he runs for 31 yards. The defense, though, would hold, and that's when the critical play of the game happened. On the putt, Brandon Presley is inside the 10, but he decides not to let it go, and it's a fumble. Arkansas State recovers at the 2. On the next play, Hansen hits Javonis Isaacs for the score. The 2-point attempt was no good, but ASU had extended the lead to 19-7. UNLV's next drive, Rogers getting it done with his feet once again, running for another 16 yards and a first. On 3rd and 8, Rogers tries to get the first, but he takes a big hit near the sticks. He was short by a yard and had to be looked at. Max Gilliam would come in at quarterback for UNLV as they went forward on 4th down, but Thomas was stuffed, and the Red Wolves got the ball back. The defense held and stopped ASU on a 4th down to get possession at their own 30. First play of the drive, Rogers does it on the ground again, gets some room, and he races 64 yards all the way down to the Arkansas State 6. On 3rd and goal from the 8, QB1 gets the ball inside the 1. Then on 4th down, he lowers his shoulder and pounds it in. The Rebels were within 19-14. Once again, the D came up with a big play. Javen White with the hit. The ball is loose, and Dalton Baker has it for UNLV at the Red Wolves 35. On 3rd and 1 at the 10, lightning strikes as Thomas goes right and he scoots in for the score. The Rebels trying to go for 2. They don't get it, but still out a 20-19 lead heading into the 4th quarter. The lead wouldn't last long as Marcel Murray rumbles 39 yards for the touchdown early in the 4th. The Red Wolves added a 2-point conversion. They had the lead back at 27-20. Under 8 minutes to go, UNLV tried to get the equalizer, but once again, Rogers overthrows his receiver and is picked off by B.J. Edmonds. It was up to the defense to get the ball back. Arkansas State converted on a 4th and 2 at the Rebel 30, but ultimately the D got the stop, and ASU missed a 40-yard field goal to give UNLV one last chance with under 2 minutes to go. However, the offense treaded water and went nowhere. turning the ball over on downs, and this one was over. UNLV had 310 yards rushing, but only 23 yards passing, and turned the ball over 4 times. It all adds up to a frustrating 27-20 loss at Arkansas State.
Definitely wasn't where we wanted to be at today. Just overshot some balls, which caused a lot of turnovers. 3 picks, 2 in the first half and 1 in the third. Well, 4 in the game where it mattered the most, but definitely wasn't where we wanted it to be at.
We should have won, period. No excuses. We should have had this game in our bag. You know, defense, it took us that first drive to settle in, but after that, I felt like we were on the cue. We did everything right. We got to make more tackles, that's including myself, and we just got to come out. This is the difference of big games right here.
Let's start with the crucial play of the game, and that's the punt.
Yeah.
Brandon Presley was set up at the 7 for the return. Now, the typical rule of thumb is if you're inside the 10, let that ball go. And it's happened before. Why can't players get that?
Yeah, well, we've actually changed. Most teams have changed it to the 7 because teams are so good at pinning you back. So you kind of put your heels at 7. However, we had a play earlier in the game, and it wasn't down there in the red zone where, you know, he's having a tough time judging the ball, and he just steps forward and lets it go. And on that one, your heels are on the 7, and you don't back up. So if your hands got to go up, you got to let it go. And besides, you never catch a punt with your hands above your head. You never want to blame it on, you know, one person. There's a lot of things that could have happened in that game, but that was a crucial mistake. I mean, you know, defense was playing really well, but then to give them the ball right there on the 2-yard line, I mean, that's a tough thing to overcome, and then you end up looking at a 7-point game at the end. So, you know, details. I mean, it's just, again, understanding where you're supposed to be, where your heels are locked in at, and then also where your body position is. Again, you never catch a ball with your hands over your head, not a punt.
Kick returners have always been an issue here over the last few years. Do you just keep rotating guys in until you get to a comfort level, or as a coach, are you never comfortable with kick returners?
Well, I mean, it's so much in between the years with that, especially punt returns, not so much kick returns, but, you know, Brandon's been a steady Eddie. You know, he's done a really good job in his career here. He's still got another year to go. We love Brandon. He does a great job. So, you know, at that position, we're going to have to talk about it, though. I mean, you know, Tyleek's gotten some reps. He's a freshman. Mekhi Stevenson's got some reps there. Brandon, you know, has been our most natural, you know, punt catcher in practice and such. Unfortunately, you know, tough night right there.
Let's get to the passing game. Another issue that was a red flag here. 23 yards passing. It's the 4th lowest total in UNLV history. And I know it was wet, but
yep.
There have been some issues in terms of passing all throughout the year in terms of getting some numbers. At what point do you become concerned about Armani Rogers' ability to throw the football and move this team down?
Well, I don't know. I mean, is it an issue? Yeah. Do we have to work on it? Absolutely. I mean, you look at the ball right there, how it's just kind of fluttering, going end over end. I mean, you know, the slickness did make a difference. However, we made some bad decisions and threw some errant balls. However, the guy rushed for 180 some odd yards. You know, he's returning Mountain West Player of the Year. We got to be patient with him. We have to work with him. He's a good football player. He's shown the ability to throw the football, you know, before. And I'll be honest with you, I 100% believe in him, and he's the guy we're rolling with. He'll get it done. By the time this thing's all said and done, he'll be able to throw the ball efficiently, and, you know, heck, starting with the New Mexico game, he'll come out and he'll throw the heck out of it. Watch.
I know we focus a little bit on the bad. I think that's the sign of the program improving because, you know, the fact that here we are in a tight game where normally in the past we were talking about, hey, you kept it tight, but we're focusing on things that would have made you win. What's your takeaway? Because there were a lot of good things in this game.
Well, there were. I mean, it's just like listening to Javen White talk at the end of the game. There's some definite frustration, feeling like, God, we played a really good game. We expect to win that. I mean, I think there's a genuine expectation that these are games that, you know, that we can win. You know, they're not. We don't hope we can win these games anymore. We know we have an opportunity to do so. It comes down to the details. So when you're playing really good teams, you know, like Javen said, certain situations tackling better. It got us. We played so good most of the night. You know, a couple bad tackles here and there, you know, really affected us. You know, offensively, you know, that we really got stale after, you know, they ended up taking that lead. But in that 4th quarter, when we got the ball back, we really didn't do anything else after that. We had to have a better plan. Even though we were struggling throwing the ball a little bit, we still needed to complete some balls. You know, real frustration on that long 3rd down to Darren Woods. You know, we even took a delay of game for them to review it. They never did. You go back and watch a film today, it looks like his foot is in bounds. Really frustrating thing because we needed things like that to go our way towards the end of the game to win it. So, hey, you know what? It's on us. I mean, we went out there and we played well at times on both sides of the ball. We had our miscues at times on both sides of the ball, and special teams got to clean some of that stuff up. But the good thing is we're in these ball games. I mean, we're sitting there with 2 wins right now. It's one more than we've had coming out of the preseason the last couple of years. It's not where we want to be. We feel like we should have at least one more. One of those 2 games we should have got the W in. But our guys have the right state of mind. They're working hard, and we know we're going to finish this thing up strong.
We'll put this one to bed for right now. We're going to take a short timeout, but we're just getting started here in the Red Zone. Up next, we're going to talk about the bye week. What's the approach in practice, and how will the coaches use it to get a jump on recruiting? We'll have that conversation next.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, presented by RC Willie. Your home, your way.
UNLV has reached its bye week before it heads into Mountain West play. So as a coach here, some time to get healthy, get guys some rest. What's your approach to practice this week?
Yeah, we've had 3 different starting guards, in the last 3 weeks. So it'll be nice to get some guys healthy. So we'll bring them in tomorrow. That's our normal day. But instead of practicing, we'll watch films, get a good weight session in. Won't practice that day. We'll go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll all hit the road recruiting on either Wednesday night and Thursday morning. And then the guys will get Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. So they'll have plenty of time to recoup, hopefully get everybody to 100%, get everybody healthy, and roll from there.
You mentioned the recruiting. I mean, this is an important time. Obviously, high school in full swing, and your guys are going to be spread out across the country, I assume.
Yeah, absolutely. I leave late Wednesday night. Got to go watch a practice somewhere in New Orleans, and then from there I got to watch a game, and then I got to head back to here, and then go watch another kid locally on Friday night. So I'll be in a bunch of different places. We got coaches going all over the place. So it's an important time. You get that bye week, you got to use it well, and you got to keep recruiting.
We're going to get into the New Mexico game in next week's Red Zone. Right now, we're going to take another break. But when we come back, you're going to hear from a former Rebel player who is now back to coach, proving that you can come home again. It's on the backside of the break as the Red Zone rolls on.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, presented by RC Willie. Your home, your way.
They say you can never go home again, but that's not the case for cornerbacks coach Steve Irvin, who has returned to the place that he was born and raised to coach at the school that he played at.
There's a lot of new coaches on the defensive side of the ball this season. One is very familiar with the sidelines at Sam Boyd. Cornerbacks coach Steve Irvin is back in his hometown and coaching for his alma mater. The Southern Nevada native and El Dorado High School grad played football at UNLV in 1998 under Jeff Fortin, but he's humble about his time in the Scarlet and Gray.
I was a walk-on here, so it's not like there's any statues of me anywhere, but it's glad to be home, and I'm glad to be part of the program.
Now he's back, this time to coach the new era of Rebel football players. And in the 20 years since he left the program, Irvin has noticed a huge change in what's going on right now.
It's changed quite a bit. I think Coach Sanchez has done a tremendous amount. He's done a great job as far as the culture of competition and toughness. That's the biggest change you see. He's got the guys going, and it's easy when he holds everybody accountable for everything. Coaches, players, everybody's on the same page with him, and he's not going to let anybody just slide in any way.
Irvin is only the 3rd former UNLV player to come back and coach in the program. After several years at the University of San Diego, he said it was a no-brainer.
It's an easy decision. It's an exciting chance that I don't think a lot of people get. And when you get a chance to go to the team you're rooting for, no matter where you are, I got my Rebel underwear on at least, and I'm always rooting for the Rebels in the back of my head, and I'm always watching them on TV, on game day at the hotel. So now I get a chance to be a part of it, and it's not just me cheering, it's me trying to help out and do my best to get the team going.
Once a Rebel, always a Rebel. It's a foundation that every student athlete on campus takes with them. Irvin has a rare opportunity to return after 2 decades and be a part of the program going to a new level. There's no place like home.
So there's Rebel underwear, huh?
Yeah, right, I guess so, right?
It's nice to have a person who played at the university back on the coaching staff because they get it. They get where the program's been. they are all your coaches are invested, but I mean, you know, they want this thing to move forward and become big.
There's no doubt, you know, and I've known Steve for a while. You know, when I was at Bishop Gorman, I got to meet him when he was on the road recruiting. It was funny when we were, you know, doing our DC search. You know, my agent had called me up and said, "Hey, there's a really up and coming guy that people are talking about," and it was Steve. And you know, and I talked to him quite a bit. So after we decided to go with Skip, you know, we brought him in to interview for the corners job, and it was a perfect fit. And he's a really knowledgeable guy. He's really worked hard, and he's made us better.
One final break for us, then we're coming back with the UNLV football plays of the week. But as we go to break, here's a look at how other Mountain West teams did over the weekend.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, presented by R.C. Willey. Your home, your way.
A bye week to get rested up and ready to go for Mountain West.
Yeah, you know, again, disappointed with the outcome last night. Excited about this team and this group of guys and the way they compete, and we're going to be fired up for New Mexico.
Next week, we will preview that New Mexico game, plus a whole lot more in our bye week show. Thanks for joining us for this one. We're going to leave you tonight with the UNLV football plays of the week. Good night.
Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show was presented by R.C. Willey. Your home, your way.